You don't need to do hours of meditation to find out a shadow. It's really easy to spot a shadow when you know where to look at. So I will now give you 5 clues that are directly pinpointing at a shadow of yours that you have dismissed and that needs integration. A shadow is an aspect of our personality that we had to dismiss, so it's not part of our consciousness anymore. We are unaware of it, and from time to time this part can just take over and hijack our mind, our actions, and we find ourselves powerless. So there is a lot of confusion going on. But these parts of us that feels like our enemies are actually the most loving part of us, and they are just calling to be reowned and to be accepted back in our consciousness. So how do we actually meet a shadow that we are unaware of? I will give you 5 ways how to identify a shadow in you and start working with it instantly. 1. People you admire or you are obsessed with. Why is that? They are channeling, embracing with no problem a shadow that we deeply care for but we had to abandon because those aspects of our personality weren't accepted by our peers, our family, so we had no choice and we dismissed them. When we admire someone, it's because they have no problem identifying with that part that we instead can't see or can't embrace. For example, in my case, I admired musicians so much. I am a musician myself, but due to my experience of life, it was so painful to deal with negative feedback and criticism. I chose to believe that I wasn't a musician, creative or expressive, and I had to dismiss that part of me. I started being the person who never shows up, who never shows her talent. And look at where I am right now. The second clue is, on the contrary, people you dislike or you can't stand. It's again because they are channeling and identifying with an aspect of us that we had to suppress. If a person is extremely triggering for us, there is an aspect that we want to integrate. We live in a reality that is based on the law of the mirror. So people constantly reflect aspects of ourselves that we have dismissed. If you really dislike the person, you are really dismissing this shadow of yours. It's really suppressed, that it's very important. Triggers. Just triggers. Anything that triggers you. A certain word, a certain action, a specific situation that happens. Especially if you recognize a pattern. Tap into the part of you that feels triggered. If you find a protector, the protector is just the part of our ego, so it's the opposite of the shadow. It's the part allowed to be in our consciousness, and it's now part of our identity, of our mask, of our ego. Therefore, if you find a protector, it's probably triggered because that specific event wants to trigger the shadow. That the protector, it's called the protector for a reason, doesn't want you to see. Doesn't want you to see because in the past it brought pain. By the way, it's not the case because the shadow is not what causing pain. It's the environment that caused it. Fourth clue, people you tend to fall in love with. Pay attention to the pattern. I always fall in love with this specific person. Why is that? Let's say you fall in love with selfish people. What is the good side of selfishness that you need to integrate? Maybe you're a people pleaser. Maybe you always put yourself aside, your needs aside. You may want to integrate the selfishness, the healthy side of self-love, putting yourself first, The fifth and the last clue you want to pay attention to is people you envy. This is like a blend of the first two. People you admire and people you can't stand. You are pulled and pushed away. This is what envy is. This person has a strong aspect that I want to integrate and I don't know how. Has things that I want. So work with that. What is that you're envying? What aspect, what characteristic, what quality? Find the shadow that is carrying all these qualities in it and integrate it. The whole purpose of spiritual growth and self-healing is integration. You will never be whole if you are suppressing, ignoring, disowning certain aspects of you. Start paying attention to these clues, these hints in your day-to-day life.